Entrepreneur's Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, so the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneur's Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. As always, I'm your host, Seth. Today I have a good buddy of mine, Candace Yaeger, Candace, as I like to call her. She is an executive coach and entrepreneur. She was a therapist at one point. She's done a lot, and she's not old. So she's done a lot. So let's bring her in. Hey, Candace.
I love that introduction. I've done a lot and I'm not old.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
I have.
You've done a lot. So how did this all start? Where did you go to school, all that good stuff? Like, did you always want to be an entrepreneur, that kind of thing, or like?
No, I did not always want to be an entrepreneur. In fact, I really never wanted to do any kind of business at all. I was a mental health therapist. I went to Arcadia University, which is not far from where your office is, about maybe 35 minutes. Then I went to LaSalle for grad school, and I was on that track. I wanted to have my own practice as a therapist. That was like the closest I would get to being an entrepreneur. So my only interest in business was really to make sure that I would have a successful therapy practice one day. So I accidentally became an entrepreneur. I know, Seth, you've met quite a few people who've become accidental entrepreneurs.
It's almost always accidental.
Yes. Yeah. So my husband and I, when I was a therapist, my husband and I, he had his own company. We started kind of a side hustle together, and it started doing well. And ultimately, I made the decision to jump into that full time because we realized we needed it.
Yeah. What was the side hustle?
Renewable energy company, which is now a utility scale solar company called Green Skyline. That is now his full-time baby, and it is doing quite well.
Good for him. Good for him. And so then how did you bump into executive coaching?
So when I was exploring or navigating this whole journey, venture chaos that was my first few years in entrepreneurship, I realized that there was a lot I didn't know. I am someone that I do best with formal education. Most entrepreneurs do not need formal education. I am a big believer in that. But I figured, okay, I can go back to school, get my MBA, baptism by fire in an accelerated 1-year program.
Oh, wow. That is baptism by fire.
Yes, it was.
That's a lot. That's a lot. An MBA is a lot when you do it normally.
Yes. And I went to Drexel. They had a program that was 1 year, and you were part of a cohort. My year, there was 22 of us that started, and 18 survived.
That's not bad. It's not a bad return.
But when I was there, found myself, a lot of the undergrads were coming to me and wanted me to mentor them. And I was like, I can't be a mentor. Like, I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. And I didn't realize that I had a lot of the abilities to mentor just by tapping into my roots as a counselor and a therapist. And I would just have chats with them, and I wasn't even realizing that I was like mentoring and helping the way that they were looking for. So then I realized I really missed working with people one-on-one.
Yeah.
And that's when I hired my own coach. I became a coach. I developed my programs, and it took off from there.
Oh, that's wild. And now so if you can tell, Candace is a Philadelphian. Let's see, she went to Arcadia, she went to LaSalle, she went to Drexel. So pretty much they're all within 10 miles of each other.
Yes.
Like literally. And she also says water, like the way it should be said. Thank you very much. And it's not Italian ice, it's water ice.
Yeah.
Damn it. Everyone else calls it, it's shaved ice. No, it's not. It's water ice.
Exactly.
Especially when it's Rita's. Oh God, don't get me started on that. We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show. So anyhow, but now you're an expat down in expat, Philly expat down in Florida, dealing with
Yes.
the humidity down there. How are things going down there? How's business going on now? Are you all remote now?
Really, it's really interesting because it's a very different way of life down here,
Mhm.
which I love and appreciate, but it's taken a while to get used to. Up in the Northeast, we are very fast paced.
Yeah,
We
go,
talk
go,
fast,
go.
we
Yeah.
move fast, we don't have a lot of patience. We expect things to get done very quickly.
Yeah.
But that's also because I think that just our culture in business up north, especially the Northeast, is to be very effective, very efficient. We don't really sit around and play around. Now, whether that's healthy for us or not, not so sure.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's definitely a healthier way of life down here. I still do have a lot of my clients up in the Philadelphia area and in the Bucks County area,
Yeah.
but that's the beauty of technology.
Oh, yeah. It's what got us through the pandemic. Seriously, it's amazing.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's fantastic. So in your mind, what is the best thing about being an entrepreneur?
There's so many amazing things about being an entrepreneur. I think for me, it's being able to do whatever the hell I want. And I mean that in a number of ways, right? Because there's absolutely things like I'm a big proponent of taking care of like the entrepreneur as a person first.
Yeah.
We're our best asset. So if I need a half day Friday, by the way, I am done work in an hour and a half today, and then I'm going
Good
and getting a
job.
massage. So
Good job.
I'm a big proponent that if you're an entrepreneur, then you're able to listen to what you need better and take care, like better care of yourself and do what you want. If you're
Mhm.
smart about it and very strategic about it, and you have good people around you
Yeah.
helping you notice certain things, then you can be a really, really, really healthy person as an entrepreneur and prevent burnout.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
me, that's important. I've had severe burnout in past careers. Like, I mean, you saw my we were talking about this on text or email or something about
Yeah.
my TED talk. I got
Mhm.
burnout as a mental health therapist in less than 2 years.
Wow. I could
That's
see
where
that
I would
though.
get
I
all
could
these
see that.
migraines. I'd be sick all the time. Like that's why I did the TED talk I did this year.
I can see that though. I mean, mental health is tough, and I burned out from journalism. Same kind of rigor and hear horrible stuff, see horrible stuff.
Hmm.
It takes a toll. And if you don't take care of yourself during that, you burn out and you get PTSD and all that jazz. So
Absolutely.
so on the flip side, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night?
Yeah. Besides Jake.
So I think that for me, in all honesty, and this has been helpful for me. When I moved to Florida, I slowed down a bit. So I'm still taking on fun projects, of course. Seth, a few years ago, a group of us went on that whole adventure and we accidentally started a nonprofit. I tend to take on projects. I've been able to slow down more being here
Mhm.
and take time to volunteer, take time to do things that I want to do. So that's been really wonderful. But then at the same time, what keeps me up at night is that internal dialogue of, okay, but there's all these projects that I want to do, but is that going to cause me to get burnout? Is that going to distract me from the projects I'm working on now? That kind of, don't all entrepreneurs have that? We're like, oh, look at this shiny thing. Oh no, stay focused.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, shiny object is strong with this one right
And we
here.
have all these ideas, and if we did them all, I don't we wouldn't be able to ever sleep.
Absolutely. You can see that with me. I have a podcast, I have a newsletter, I have my business, I'm
You have like
mentoring.
50 things you're doing.
Oh my God, I'm constantly doing something.
So you have to be careful if you come up with some brand new idea, you have to be really strategic about, okay, do I jump in head first, which entrepreneurs love to do, or
Mhm.
do I put this off until later, or do I have to just stay focused and ignore it
Mhm.
completely, right?
Absolutely. It's crazy. So, what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
Like physically.
It can be anything.
Oh, okay. The first thing that comes to mind, in all honesty, is two things that I carry with me physically. I
Yeah.
have a mass card from my brother's funeral. and then mass card for my sister-in-law and niece's funerals.
Oh.
And I know that sounds dark and grim, but hear me out. I carry those with me constantly because then anytime I open my purse or I open my bag or whatever it is that I'm carrying with me, that's a reminder that life is too short. I think that a lot of the decisions that I've made in my entrepreneurial journey and also just in my personal life, I try to remind myself that like life is too short and we should be doing whatever the heck we want to do.
Absolutely. Kind of a dark side to remind yourself of that, but if it works, sometimes you have to have those jolts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having for me at least that little reminder, especially if like throughout the day I'm like stressing about and I'm like running from one meeting to the next. I open my wallet to go pay for my coffee and I see that, then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Take a beat.
take a deep breath. Everything's fine. If I'm 2 minutes late to my next meeting, like
Yeah.
it's
It's
fine.
hard when you're high
My
energy
my my
Northeasterner.
my
Yeah.
career is not going to crumble because I'm 2 minutes late. Like take a deep breath, relax. Everything's fine.
Love it. Love it.
You know I'm the queen of being late, Seth, for everything.
Oh, I'm aware. Yeah. Fashionably late. Fashionably. Always dressed to the nines, always fashionably late. Like literally fashionably late. So Candace, where can people find you online? Where's the best? Actually, first off, where's your watering hole? Where do you hang out the most online?
Online, I would say I'm probably mostly on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, I don't really post a lot on Instagram, but I always have a lot of really like interesting conversations going on with people
Yeah.
in DMs and on, commenting on their stuff. So I'm on Instagram often. My Instagram handle is my first and last name all together with no spaces, no shapes, nothing like that. So I'm most accessible on there. I love to have conversations on Instagram. Also, if you want to check out my TED Talk, where I do talk a bit about burnout and about being more selfish and doing whatever the heck you want to do, that can be found at bit.ly/C Y talk.
Love it.
Or you can just, go to the TED.com website and type in my name and I'll pop up. So that's easy too. I'm on Facebook, same thing. You type in my name. I'm the only one that has my name with my spelling. You can find me on Facebook.
True. Yeah.
Same thing. I'm not big on posting there, but I like to have some really great conversations with interesting people on there.
Yeah, it's fun. And of course, CandaceYaeger.com.
Yes, CandaceYaeger.com, or you can just type in Candace.coach.
That's the one. I was remember there's a slicker one. Candace.coach. I like that one.
Candace.coach, which a lot of times, I mean, when I switched over to Candace.coach, I was so excited. I'm like, that's so easy, especially because Yaeger gets misspelled a lot. A lot of people, Seth, how interesting. You'll appreciate this because you're so in the tech sphere.
Yeah.
So many people didn't realize that was a website. And didn't realize you could have anything other than .com. And I'm like, my husband has had .solar since.
I have a Doylestown.dog site, .dog for the dog park. So.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, so CandaceYaeger.com or Candace.coach.
So Candace, thanks so much for being on. This is so great. We got to hang out again when we're not recording a podcast. It's been so long.
I know. I am trying to get back to Pennsylvania soon, so
we'll have to hang out.
We'll have to have a reunion with our group.
Absolutely. All right, Candace, thanks so much, and we'll see everyone next time. That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Gold Theme Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.